Our communicating skills lesson today is on planning with outlines. An outline is a plan for how you are going to write your essay or your report. So it always includes the major points, and it helps you to figure out the order that you will present each of those points and details in. When you are setting up your outline, you usually start by identifying what your topic or your thesis is. So your thesis would be your main argument for your article, but sometimes if you're doing a report, it's just about a specific topic. So that's what you would start with. And in the example they gave us, they had the skin. So skin could be your topic. The next grouping is your main ideas or topics. So sometimes you might have like 5 key ideas that you're looking at, and these are all labeled with a Roman numeral. So that's where you have 1 I is 1, 2 I's is 2. I'll give you up to 3, 4, and 5 just on this side. So 3 is 3 I's, 4 is an IV, and 5 is V. If you were to go on to 6, then we would keep going until you got to 9, and then it would be IX, and finally 10. So this is just in order. This gives you 3, 4, 5, etc. Each main idea or topic can be broken into smaller topics that are within that overall idea. So those are subtopics. So those are labeled with a capital letter. Each of these subtopics can then be supported by specific details, and the details are labeled with a traditional numeral like 1 to 2 as opposed to a Roman numeral. So for example, when you look at yours, you've got the skin. Their first main idea is the layers of skin. So the 2 layers they're going to talk about are the epidermis and the dermis. So the epidermis is made up of the thin outer layer, and it protects the body from injury, whereas the dermis is the inner layer, and it contains blood vessels, nerves, and glands, and it's much thicker. So those would be some details that would support that breakdown within that main topic. They are going to give you some information on comets. So they will give you quite a few different details or pieces of information, and they're going to ask you to break this into 5 main topics. So you'll end up with 5 main ideas. So you'd have your 1, 2, 3, and you'll need to space them out quite a bit to let them all fit. And then as you're going through, you can brainstorm to see if there are any key terms that come out fairly often. So for example, you might find several that are about orbits. So maybe orbits is going to be one of your main ideas. And then maybe you have a whole bunch that are talking about the tails of a comet, right? And so then you could put in those different details about orbits that they've listed or about tails. And you might find that you have some subtopics. So remember, if you can group those details even further within that one category, you can put an A and a B there. So your assignment for this activity is to write an outline using the information they have provided you about comets. When you are finished, there are several things that they want you to check. The first thing they want you to check for is that each main idea begins with a Roman numeral. So this is where we're using the I's and V's and X's to write the numbers. And they've asked you to try and find 5 main ideas. In your outline, they'd also like you to remember to put a period after each letter or number before you begin writing your phrase that goes after it. Thirdly, they'd like you to make sure that you capitalize the first word of each main idea, even if it's not a full sentence, and capitalize each supporting detail as well. The last thing they'd like you to look for in terms of formatting is that the numbers, letters, and periods all line up vertically. So what that means is all of the Roman numerals should line up one on top of the other. Then you would have your subtopics. So the A's would all be in line, and then the 1s and 2s would be in line, but they are further indented, so you can see where each level is. When you are finished writing your outline and you have 5 main ideas, and you have gone over and checked the formatting, post a picture of your outline onto the assignment for fresh grade. It is okay if you don't have a subtopic, like if you need to have Roman numerals for all of them, but it's okay if you don't have A's and B's and you just jump into 1s and 2s and then you start with your next Roman numeral. Maybe for some of them you will, but it's okay if not all of them do. Okay? So do your best. Feel free to ask me for help, and I look forward to seeing your outlines.